Here it comes. Here it comes.
What up,
What's
y'all?
up, boys? How's that for timing?
Sorry about my tardiness. I had a phone. I was on a phone call.
You're good,
You
dude. That
you
was
hop
actually
on
the
like literally
closest.
less than a minute after me, so you're good.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was the closest to like at the same time you guys have ever been right there.
okay.
Dude, so first off, did you guys watch the live stream yesterday or no?
I did not, but I kept up with it. I only was only really focused.
What was the last thing you said, Tyler? You cut out for a sec.
Oh, I said I only saw the prejudging.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just saw little bits and pieces, but I didn't follow it as close as the weekend before. But I've seen pictures and stuff since, for sure. It's
Oh
video.
yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff after the fact. I didn't have time to actually watch it. I was just kind of like, watching for updates and stuff on my phone, but I didn't actually get to watch
Yeah,
the live
same.
stream, which sucks because I
Same.
like to do that anytime I can.
Same. I still bought it and I watched what I could, but to me, I feel good about that just knowing that I'm like supporting bodybuilding. You know what I mean? Like I always like
Respect.
giving my $20. Yeah, man, because the sport gives us so much. So it's like, why not give back every chance we get, you know?
Yep.
Respect.
Uh, well, for
Well, we
starters,
we need
did
more
any of
hat
us
diversity. I gotta change my hat. There
Oh, come on, bro.
You guys are twinning, man.
we
Come
go.
on, bro.
Now you and I are
Now
twinning.
you twin when you
No,
start.
this is different. Now we got all three different ones.
Oh, you're right. That's the other one.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Now we got a
Okay.
now we got a nice variety. Dude, this tee is an old one. Do you guys have any of these oversized from like back in the day?
Hell
Is that
yeah.
the
Nice.
off-season shirt on the
Yeah.
Yep.
back?
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I have one.
Yeah, I've had this
Dude,
for
that's so much
like,
of this shit. I have no idea what I got anymore at this point.
dude,
I'm
I know the
I'm
feeling.
waiting for some more oversized shirts. Now that we about to be
They-
big as hell, it's time to
Right?
They're
button
coming.
Off season time, baby.
up.
Hell yeah. No, I've had this shirt for at least a year and a half, 2 years. It's great. It's one of my favorites still, for sure.
Yeah.
Man, so back to the show. Did any of us have Regan winning before we heard the results or no?
Nah,
I'm
I,
truthfully no. And
nah.
that's nothing against Regan whatsoever. It's just I just didn't see it going that way from everything that I'd seen, especially when I compared the show last week versus this week. I actually thought Nathan got better. Regan got better too, but I don't know. Actually, a lot of the placings up in that top five were very confusing.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Roman dropped to what, fifth?
Yeah, he got fifth,
Yep,
and that
yep.
one I didn't understand too. They put Theo above Roman,
Yeah.
um, which was
Tim looked a lot better
yeah,
this
Tim,
Tim
weekend.
was good.
I think Tim. Yeah, Tim definitely got that third.
Hmm
You think
He
you'd
definitely
put
got
Tim
that.
over Roman still?
I don't know, man. I really like Roman's physique. I would
That's the thing.
still,
It's a different physique entirely, huh? You're looking at like a
yeah,
bigger mass guy versus somebody that just comes in crazy peeled and has
More,
a great.
yeah.
yeah. I'm
And
just
that I think that's and like kind of what you just said. That's literally what I'm thinking. What happened with fucking Nathan and
and
wow,
Regan.
blanket Enrique.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
because it's like
yeah. Basically.
yeah, because like he looked fuller.
Hmm
Uh, Regan did. He looked a lot fuller compared to last week.
hmm
So it may have given him the edge of looking just a tad bit more improved as far as conditioning was concerned. But
Yeah.
I mean, Nathan is so dense, dude.
hmm
It's like he probably has the same amount of muscle as Regan. It's just more compact.
that's the thing that I don't understand. I mean, a lot of people argue about it online because they don't understand bodybuilding when they're watching it, but I can still see, and it's a factor that you can't really see on a screen, but like when you know what you're looking at, Nathan's much thicker.
Yep.
Much. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Like I could say, I would say most of the back shots, I could probably lean to Regan. Most of the back shots.
Yes. I would agree with that.
And then the only other one is maybe his side try because aesthetically he looks pleasing when he hits it.
He had his
Versus
midsection tighter than Nathan did on the side try, but everything else I liked better in Nathan, especially his
yeah,
side leg.
yep. Well,
His leg was stupid.
Yeah.
he had major quad showing, but
Uh-huh.
I give Regan with the hamstring stick. The
Yeah,
hamstring.
Regan has good hamstrings and adductors. That's where he beats out Nathan and all those back shots too. But
There were some pretty good videos on Bodybuilders Without Borders, I think.
Yeah, him,
Yeah.
Sulios.
Here's a video.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, the funny thing is, man, I don't know if you guys watch any of Regan's YouTube content. I haven't really historically, but I watched some of his videos that he put out between last weekend and this weekend. And he was freaking killing himself, dude. 2.5 hours of cardio a day.
That's Milos for you, dude.
Yeah, dude. And Milos had him eating like uh 100 grams of carbs total, I think, like 50 grams pre and post, something like that. Like it was not like it's not like he just sat back this week. He was killing himself. But if anything, like you guys said, I just see a little bit more fullness. So it's like, what? What the hell happened? I
See, I
don't.
really do think that there's just factors that we can't see that they saw more in person, and those are things that are
Yeah.
difficult to
Yes.
analyze when you're just looking off of live streams and videos because you can see them side by side. And I think when you look at videos and
Yes.
pictures, Nathan looks sharper, denser, grainier, like
Yeah.
by a lot. But
Yeah.
you know,
Like,
it could be completely different, especially since they both have completely different skin complexion, and
yeah.
you just I don't know what that would look like in person.
Yeah. Like this video of
I just
Nathan
see
on his
Nathan
own I'm
being I
about
don't
to
know, I just
play.
really did
It
not see that
looks
going
like
any
it
other
would be
way.
lights out, right? It looks ridiculous.
Easily.
Yeah. From the front,
Easily.
for sure. I like the way he poses too.
Yeah,
For somebody who claims he's really not into this
posing.
side of bodybuilding at all, he has a lot of flair to his posing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he has no rhythm, but
It's very dramatic.
it's because I mean, he should have been. He was very confident going into the show. This should have been another
Yeah.
walk away for him personally. I believe that. And then there's a lot of questions that are getting asked because of this. And one of those is a lot of people think that I want to address this with you guys because I know that you guys are going to probably think a lot similar in the way that I do about this. But do you think that there's political decision going on because Regan has higher following? Because I absolutely think that that's just not true. It's stupid. It makes no sense.
I agree, man. I think well the thought process I've heard from a lot of people is Nathan got his qualification last weekend. The
Yeah,
judges
which
wanted
yeah,
Regan at the Olympia, which I don't agree with, man. I think we've seen enough examples of the opposite happening. Like I thought of last year, Ian
walking
Valier.
through club.
Yeah, he won two
Uh,
in a row, and they gave it to him, and it was close. It wasn't like if they had put Kuklo over him, it would have been like a huge upset. It was close. They could have, but they
exactly.
didn't. So I really do think that, you know, 9 times out of 10, or maybe even 10 times out of 10 at this point, judges are judging what's in front of them. And the discrepancy between all of us judges at home and the actual judges, I think, is mostly down to just not being there in person, like you
Hmm.
said, Josh, and not being able to see the comparison directly in front of you like they are. I think, like you said, Tyler, the extra fullness in Regan's physique probably was even more dramatic in person, and it probably created a bigger size gap, at least when they're side by side. Because Regan structurally is just a bigger guy, not more
Yeah,
muscular, but bigger.
Yep.
he
So
takes up
that
more space.
probably say again, Josh.
He takes up a lot more space. So like
Yeah,
there's those all of those front and back shots are going to just take up more space. But
yes. So
that's where you see thickness.
they probably saw that plus the added fullness, and they thought that he edged him out just from sheer size. That would be my best assessment of probably where the judges' heads are at.
Was the judging panel at this show different than the one from last week? Because there are going to be differences there too, as far as like you'll see you'll see different types of people winning different types of shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up with a decent example. I mean, you'll always see it like the Arnold. You'll see different types of physiques winning at the Arnold that usually won't place maybe
Yep.
as high at the Olympia at the same year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it was just different judging too. They're looking for a different thing because I mean, like I said, the whole entire top five was different and unexpected.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same judges or not. I wonder if there's a way we could look that up.
I mean, based off of this, I'd have to assume that they were different because
I
what they
would
were
assume
looking
so
for,
too.
what they were looking for, drastically changed.
Yeah, because I feel like last week they rewarded sharper conditioning and dryness a little bit more than they did this week, and that's another reason why I think that they would have placed Theo above Roman.
Mhm.
Because Theo would not have beat Roman last week, even if they looked exactly the same as they did this week.
I would agree with that.
Agreed.
Maybe it says on like the promoter websites. Let me try that.
And that's nothing against Theo either. Theo's great. It's just I feel like we really do. So you said something about this, Tyler, in the group chat. Should probably talk a little bit more in ways that like people who aren't following the sport as close to us can understand. So I feel like I'm trying to find words that can convey me not trying to insult these people, but just trying to give like my complete, unemotional, unattached analysis of what it is. Because if it was like completely an emotional decision for me, I would want Roman to win. He's my favorite of the whole entire lineup as far as people who I like and physiques who I like. But I just know that Roman's physique is not going to beat somebody like Nathan right now. So
Right.
it's not an insult thing. It's not like we're bigger fans of one or the other. It's just that's just the judging criteria, and that's just how we understand it. So anytime we say something about another athlete, it's absolutely not negative towards them whatsoever. It's just
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Just be honest, we're all critiques. We critique
Uh-huh.
ourselves constantly on a day-to-day basis,
Oh,
whether
yeah.
it's in a comparison situation or not. But I mean, it's a critic. Whether the person we're talking about takes it to heart or not, 100% they probably don't give a shit. No way. They're trying to
Mhm.
improve from what they coach tell them.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're gonna be like,
Yeah,
who the fuck are these random amateur kids talking shit anyway?
right.
Bodybuilding is so weird as a sport because it's the only sport where when you critique the actual like product within the sport that the person's offering, you're also critiquing that person's physical appearance, which they have all the
Yeah.
time, whether they're
Mhm.
competing or not. So it's like it feels a lot more personal than it actually is, right?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
if Tyler says to me, I think you need to bring up your sweeps to complete your physique, which I would agree with, it's not an attack on me the rest of the time. It's just a critique of me while I'm on stage, right? But people have a trouble differentiating the two because I'm walking around with these sweeps all the time, all day long. It's not just when I'm on stage. I
Yeah.
think that's where that disconnect comes when people aren't maybe as quite as into the sport or don't understand it fully. It's like, man, he said Regan's, off. That's personal, but it's really not. It's really
You know
not personal.
something? To sidestep this conversation really quick,
Yeah.
we should just have an episode where we critique our physiques as a team.
Yeah, I'm down for
And then
that.
it gives people like, oh shit, they for real.
Yeah,
Exactly
man.
what we talking
Exactly.
about.
Practice
Yeah,
what
I
we
mean,
preach.
people who at least follow me know how I'm very realistic with myself. So
Yeah.
I can take any kind of criticism. I don't take it to heart whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if you do take it to heart, people, if somebody's criticizing you, you take it to heart. Instead of being a bitch about it, just why don't you go like prove them wrong instead?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sitting there
I think
complaining
I've
is
been
not going to make
critiqued.
it better. Just go fucking make it better yourself.
Hmm.
I think I've been critiqued once that actually affected me just once, and it was at nationals. I said when I was sitting next to one person, and I was just talking about like how much I had to cut and whatever, and I was like, man, I'm definitely the smallest one on the stage. He said, you should just go to classic. I was kind of pissed at that. I was like, you motherfucker. All right. I was like,
Dude,
that's not nice. All
that
right,
one
bro.
that one always stings a little bit, especially if it's posed as a question like, are you open or classic? When people ask you
Like,
that. And I'm
come
like,
on.
dude, I'm competing 45 pounds above my classic cutoff. Like, are you kidding me?
That's
Yeah.
funny. It's opposite for me. Everybody assumes I'm open.
Yeah. I can see that.
I can 100. You're a massive guy. You know
You big dude.
Structurally, so there we go again. We're talking about structure versus actual muscle size. I'm structurally large. Needs to
Right.
be filled out quite a bit more.
So, for people watching who maybe don't follow bodybuilding super close, how much of that structural advantage do you think is an advantage? Because on one hand, somebody might look at a structurally big physique and think there's more gaps in it because you have more real estate to fill, right?
Mhm.
On the other hand, you're taking up more real estate on stage. Your clavicles are going to be wider. So, actually, Josh, you could probably speak to this really well because you are one of these guys. how much of
Hmm.
an advantage do you feel your structure gives you versus hurts you, or neither?
So I feel like this is something that irritates me, dude. So like anybody that has a bigger structure, anybody that's taller, they'll always use it as an excuse instead. Oh, I'm tall, so it's harder for me to build muscle than short guys or whatever. Guess what? It's the exact same difficulty to build muscle when you're short versus when you're tall. It's just
Yeah.
when you have a bigger structure, you have to fill out more of that. So I would
Yeah.
say if you were like somebody looking to do well, get a pro card, and compete at a higher level at a younger age. Obviously, being shorter is going to kind of give you that slight advantage as far as like you just don't have much to fill out.
Mm,
When
okay.
you're taller, it's just, I think it's a lot more of an advantage than being shorter. It's just going to be based on patience and time, just like how Samson is right now. He's been
Yeah.
bodybuilding for a long time now. He's now up in those top spots. He's a bigger structure guy. He just needed time to fill out. Regan, again, there we can talk about Regan. He has a huge structure. He's always been placing lower. Um, Now he's beating guys like Nathan DEASHA is actually a big deal, but I don't think a lot of people understand that. Nathan has 10 pro wins now. I believe he was going for his 11th pro win at this
Yeah.
show. I don't think that there's anybody right now who is currently competing that has as many pro wins as Nathan does. And Nathan's also been a very top placing at the Olympia. I don't remember what was it like sixth or seventh or something like that when he did the Olympia. It was a while ago. He hasn't done it in a bit.
I think
But
his highest placing was sixth, I think.
yeah, so you have guys like that who have started to fill out their structure. You're starting to see them knocking off all of these top guys. Andrew Jack kind of came in with a massive structure that was pretty well filled out. So you see him coming in, and he's in his late 30s, I believe.
You
But
think he's 38?
he won every show that he did up until the Olympia, and then he placed top 10, first Olympia ever. Like that's just unheard of. So
Something
having a
crazy.
bigger structure, I think, is a huge advantage. Just don't people stop using it as a fucking excuse. Shit
That's a,
takes time.
that's exactly how I see it. It's just it's not a hindrance in any way. It just takes longer, like you
Uh-huh.
said. But
Yeah.
then the payoff at the end is massive. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about Regan. He, like, say what you will about his conditioning, whether or not he'll ever get like nasty, grainy peeled, whatever. But like muscularity wise, he's starting to look like Jay Cutler, dude. Like he's freaking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, he's
massive.
getting thicker. I think he needs to work on his front double a lot, honestly. I think his front double is probably his weakest post, and I can't figure out why. I think it's
Mhm.
just because his chest.
He's straight up and down when he does it. No,
Mhm.
Yeah,
no flare, no chest pop,
I think it
none
is
of the
just
extraness.
specifically the chest is just not popping. And I think that and that's something else that you could say about guys with the bigger structure. I noticed it a lot in myself. Regan has a really thick chest. You can see it from his side chest. As soon as we put our arms up, there's so much surface area right here. You
It
put your
looks like
arm
it's
up,
flat.
it pulls it all up. So then all of this thickness and density down here in the lower pec just kind of disappears. Needs to
Mhm.
be a lot thicker. Like somebody like Samson gets away with this because his chest is not human. So I feel like that's another thing that you got to deal with when you have a bigger structure, just certain body parts like that. But again, more surface area to a muscle means it has more of a potential to be that much better. So that's the way
Yep.
I see it. Just fill it out, thicken it up.
Yep. Tyler, do you have those pics you sent to the WhatsApp? Could you send those to the Instagram or are those on your phone?
No, I could probably send them to Instagram. If
These are two of them.
those are the yeah, those are it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could just find all these, I'm fairly certain that this was oh yeah, you see him tagged right there. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the photographer's page. Maybe if you go click on that, it'll show.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, I do see what you mean about his front double though. Like when you compare it to Nathan's is
Nathan's chest
very,
is just like an inch thicker.
Yeah.
yeah, it's very round, man. His arms to his chest to his lats from the front, everything's very bubbly.
Uh-huh.
Regan is definitely more straight up and down. I wish he
And
would
arms.
almost close his arms a little
Yep.
more. Like,
And maybe not shrug his shoulders up so high.
yeah, bring his shoulders down, open up a little more from the front. Yeah, there's
Yo,
You
there's
know, it's very strange when you look at Regan's front double against Nathan's. You would say Regan has less of a V taper and
here
his
we go.
arms look downsized. But then if you look at his back double versus Nathan's, you would
very
say
different.
Regan has a better V taper and bigger arms. So it's just, I feel like it could have a lot to do with just strictly posing. But
I could see that.
Yo, Neil, do you have the new Twitter, aka Threads?
Yeah, I got Threads. I've
So
literally never used it, but I have it.
so Bison Trash they posted it on their Threads. That's where I got the photos.
Oh,
Oh, I
oh,
didn't know they started using Threads too. I got Threads when it like first started. I posted a couple really stupid things, then I just haven't looked at it since
all
then.
right.
Yep,
You guys are gonna have to walk me through how to use it. What do I do?
Okay,
oh fuck.
I don't think you can use it on from Instagram, can you?
Yeah,
Oh,
but I just don't know how to
Is
do
there
that.
not any good pictures on this page?
there's
Well,
a
he
couple.
posted he posted all each
Same
post
one.
like
Yeah, like all
together.
back to back to back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
just the same.
I would say, is there a way to open up Threads?
Oh, Wesley looked really good too for Classic, by the way. I don't really follow Classic too much, but
Yeah.
that was a good showing for him.
Is Threads a separate app?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a separate app, so you'd
Okay.
probably have to install and log in and all that good stuff.
Here, I know
Yep.
what I'll do.
Are you
I'm
just gonna
on
send
it.
them to our group chat from your own self?
Yeah,
Yep.
I
I'm on
mean,
it,
I can
boys.
send it here. I can post it on IG right now. Want me to?
Okay. Okay, yeah, go for it. That way,
Yeah.
because yeah, if I share the screen on WhatsApp, it'll show your phone number to the world.
Hey,
I
Also,
also,
what's that phone number?
I don't answer numbers. I don't know. So
yeah.
I wouldn't
No,
know.
dude, trust me. I'm telling you right now, coming from somebody that had to change their phone number twice, you don't want random people calling your phone, bro. Oh
Oh
my God.
shit.
Well, I
Yeah.
must say you definitely are bigger than me, so I still don't think I have to deal with that.
You had to do that twice, Josh? Was it like a social media thing or what?
One of them was not. So I had to change my phone number one time just for that kind of reason, and then I changed it again because I switched complete carriers altogether. But yeah, there was a point where, and I
Uh,
don't know if it was a social media thing or what, but I think maybe one of my clients accidentally gave like my phone number out or something. Like they thought that it
Mm.
was,
damn.
I don't know. I don't know exactly why, but that was even if I look at my phone now, still, like if I go to my notifications here and I can't get rid of them, I still have 310 unread texts.
Fuck.
And I don't know if you can see it, probably not, but I
I
don't
see I
know.
see three digits. That's
Yeah.
enough.
Right? Enough said. Damn, bro.
I don't know, like, I can't scroll enough to find them and I'll read them and like get rid of all notifications and
Oh,
stuff.
I
It doesn't
see.
really bother me that much. I'm like, whatever. But
I
yeah, now
see.
my voice box is full too. I don't even know how to empty a fucking voice box. I don't know, like how to, or voicemail or whatever.
Dude, that's crazy. Over
I'm
300.
gonna help you with that because that is definitely one of those things that just annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. I can't. It's irritating, but
Funny how little that impacts us now because no one leaves voicemails, right?
Right.
Like back in the day, if your voicemail was full, it would be like, fuck. But now it's like, oh, they'll just text me. Like,
Yep.
yeah. But sometimes when you call people and their voicemail's full, you're like, God damn it. Like
yeah.
if it's important for sure, but I don't answer
No.
phone calls if I don't have your number
Yep.
saved anyways.
Or
Josh,
So
it
freeze.
knows. It'll probably go away when we actually post this. Josh, you
Hey.
gonna,
what's up? Am I back?
yeah, you froze
Yeah,
for
you
a sec.
froze.
What'd you say?
Where did I leave off at?
Uh, you were talking about when you call somebody and their voicemail's full. That's the last
Oh
thing I
yeah, no,
heard.
I was just saying I don't answer phone calls if I don't have the number saved anyways, ever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So it doesn't really matter that much.
yeah. No, same here. Same here, pretty much. Um, Ty, did you send those through or no?
Yeah, it should be on our group chat
Oh, you did? Okay.
on IG.
Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, here we go. What? Instagram says use the latest version of the Instagram app to see this type of message from
Oh
us.
my
So it might. So you're gonna. So unfortunately, you have to share it on your phone. Apparently, that's what that means.
Oh,
Okay, hold on. I know that there's we don't need to go through all this.
Josh is like, there's a better way.
There
Right.
is for sure a better way, and I know it.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get to Threads
Somebody
from
posted the
IG,
front and back double of everybody in the open lineup, and then
bro.
somebody, oh, here you go. Okay, Sulios's page. I told you. Sulios's page has the side by sides of Regan and Nathan in every pose.
Okay.
Who's that?
I sent it to the group.
Oh, okay.
He's another guy that just does like the bodybuilding media and stuff, and he likes
Oh yeah, I'll follow me.
posts all of the like he's
Uh,
basically like bodybuilders without borders and stuff, and like buys and tries.
got it. Sweet. I'm gonna give this guy a follow. This looks great.
Yeah,
I'm not
follow.
gonna lie. I did not know that's how you say that name.
I don't
I
know if
will.
it is how you say that name either.
Oh,
But
okay.
I've said it on stories and stuff before, like when I've shouted him out or whatever, when I've been talking and stuff, and like he's never corrected me and he follows me, so I think that's what he's saying. Or he's just nice.
All right, let's go shot for the education of the people watching, boys.
By the
What do you?
way, do you see what I mean by the quality of the picture and like how it just looks like Nathan is so much more detailed?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
Yeah.
think that's facts, though. I think that's 100% facts, evenly
I
displayed.
I think that's pretty accurate. Again, like Regan looks fuller than last week, but I would say roughly the same conditioning. Maybe he looks a little more conditioned just because the muscle's actually
Yep.
pushing a little bit more.
Yep.
His
Uh,
shoulders are pretty wild.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
Like
looks like
for his frame, he's getting there. Like
he looks like he has a
he's
similar
right
issue
there.
to me though right now where his right shoulder's rolled forward a little bit. And that would make a lot of sense for why his front double's looking kind of off because his lat seems to be tucked in. It looks like his shoulder's sucking him in here like this. So he's
mm,
not able to actually open up his lat with his elbow and externally rotate it. I have a similar issue, so that's probably the only reason why I can notice that, but I don't know if you guys see it too.
I,
I can see that for sure. But yeah, if we're going shot for shot, definitely Nathan here for me. I just love the way that looks on him.
Yeah, Nathan has a
agreed.
just when you can pull a most muscular like that and your waist is still small enough where you can see that gap right there, but
Yes.
it's not like a gap in a way that where it makes you not look like you're filled out. Plus, just
Yeah.
look at his chest is just thick.
This
But
is where his high lats really do him a service because it
uh,
makes his waist look tiny, but then there's no gap at all between his bicep and his lat. It's just like
yep,
muscle on muscle, you know?
Regan's
Adductors are,
definitely wider here.
Mhm.
yes, for sure.
I don't think he's as crouched down as much as Nathan.
No, and
Yeah,
I think it looks like Nathan's rolling his shoulders more forward too, so he can activate his chest a little bit more and get more striation and detail out of that. And I wonder if that's something that hurts him here just because of the width. But
sure.
I mean, even though Regan's wider, I don't know if how much that would stand out in person.
Well, so technically, for the people watching, what is the correct way to hit this pose?
There's a lot of different ways I think to hit the front. I don't know if we can really give an analytically correct way. It's going to depend on you because they're both doing the same most muscular shot here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had to play with that balance a lot with my hands on hips as far as
Mhm.
like how far you roll the shoulders to really bring out those crazy lines in the chest versus how much are you actually flared out and back to create more width. Um, and I kind of landed on something in the middle because if you do like really try to bring out that chest, really squeeze forward, you do lose some clavicle width.
Yep.
So if you're somebody like Nathan, who in this comparison is narrower than Regan, then he
Probably want to
might
stand
do
up a little
better
bit
to
more.
stay a little bit more upright. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Because those chest serrations, when they're that detailed, like Nathan's got them, like I have them, you don't need to be like fully hunched forward to see them either. Like you can flex them while being flared out from the lat, and you'll still get lines through there. You know what I mean?
I wonder if why he didn't. I mean, I'm sure he did. I like I said, didn't get to see the live stream, so I've been watching it this way. But I wonder why he didn't hit a crab. He has a really good crab shot.
He does have a really good crab shot. Yeah.
Because his chest is so damn thick.
I was about to say, if he just leans over a little bit more, might as well call it a crab shot.
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
way his
basically, they
chest shoulders and
basically are
bicep.
doing they're doing like a
kind of
crab.
like a modified kind of crab shot. Right?
This is actually a really weird most muscular that they're doing. It's like an
It's like
upright.
the hands on hip and the crab together.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
literally.
See this shot, I have Nathan again. Well,
I know. I think I got mm,
It's hard because it's a
the
that
weird
was a hard
angle.
one.
presentation. I'm gonna give this one a draw. I'm gonna give this one a draw because
I
the
don't
Yeah.
know.
presentation. Go ahead. Sorry.
Who, Neil, you go.
I would say again, Regan, the width is more impressive. His legs look bigger, but Nathan is also angled kind of weird in this shot, so it's hard to really tell. He has like some crazy feathering and detail in this forward quad, which looks really nice.
I saw a video clip of this shot when they did it, and that's why I was saying Nathan right away because I remember when I saw the video and I
Yeah.
saw them moving because Nathan hits it the way that Regan's hitting it before he goes into that lockout there.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
feel like Nathan won this shot, but from
Yeah.
this picture alone, I think I might actually say Regan.
I
Um,
I could get with
and
that.
that's and
I
that's
think
a
it's just a bad picture
and I was gonna
for
say
Nathan.
that's for the people watching. When you're looking at pictures, there are so many small movements going on that affects muscle display that
Mhm.
this may not be the look that they were looking for,
yeah,
nor what the camera
yeah.
captured. So
Yeah, for sure. A lot of times guys are hitting two or three variations of each pose. So you're only going to capture one of those in a still picture, right? Like Josh just said, Nathan hit it like Regan did before he made this transition into kind of this more locked front leg sort of to the side pose.
And it's because
So
he wanted to show the same because when you lock out your knee, you get a lot more of the feathering and the detail up like in that lower sweep and that teardrop.
yeah.
But when you hit it like how Regan's hitting it, that's when you start to see everything else like up top and you actually see all the lines through the leg.
Yeah.
yep,
So I feel like Nathan was trying to show that he has both, just kind of
Hmm.
by switching back and forth. Sometimes people will do that. Some similar to since a lot of people probably know like how classic works more just because of Chris and everything. You'll see Chris
yep.
he'll hit his abs and then a vacuum.
Hmm.
He wants to show the judges that he can do both. It's kind of similar with this.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll hit it straight on like Regan here, then I'll pull up into a vacuum, and then I'll drop an arm and hit a side oblique shot.
Yep, that's exactly how I do it. And then I'll lock out my knee in the side.
And then, yep, exactly. Then you lock out the leg. So, yep, super common. I think it's just an unfortunate moment captured for Nathan, but he probably overall is winning this shot, I bet.
From the picture, though, just to be consistent, it will go with Regan on that one.
Yeah, deal.
Or at least I will. Now, this is the one where it was like you look at the side leg, and that's kind of where it gets me because if I
Yeah.
just look at the lower bodies here, I'd take Nathan aside from the hamstring drop, but just the detail, the graininess, and like the
Hmm.
actual conditioning of the lower leg and the
Yep.
density is Nathan. If you look upper body, again, this might be for picture reasons, but
Hmm.
Regan's midsection versus Nathan's midsection here is
Yeah.
if Nathan's midsection was held like that actually through the pose as they were judging, then Regan absolutely won this shot.
Hmm.
I kind of like how Nathan, I see what you're saying about the midsection for sure. I do like how Nathan is a little bit more opened up though. I don't
Yeah,
like I don't like the way the side try looks when you're actually like
sideways.
Sideways.
sideways. Like it looks weird. You just see like a lot of under boob, you know, and not a lot of detail through the chest and width through the shoulders.
Yeah, and
Like
I
you
think
do
that
it,
opening up like that is what is making it harder for him to get his waist in the way that Regan has his. Because if Regan tried to twist that
sure,
way, he's also going to have the same
Probably,
like
yeah.
sure.
full scoop waist.
So I guess it's a little bit of give and take, right?
I
Hmm.
Regan would
think,
probably look amazing opened up because he has that shoulder width. And as he stands right now, you can only see this right shoulder. Whereas if he rotated further like Nathan, you'd be able to see both, you know?
Hmm. And remember how I was saying, and this is speculation based off of my own thing, but remember how I was saying maybe Regan has his right shoulder rolled forward a little bit, and he has like needs some body work and everything done there.
Yeah.
I know for me, I can't do a side tricep very easily with opening up because my shoulder's forward. So as soon
Mm,
as I lock it in, it's pretty sideways. Regan would have to pull that back, roll it back like this in order to open up, and it looks like it's pretty well stuck right where it is.
that makes
If
sense.
if he has the same thing that I have going on right now, that's why I assume that. That's the only reason I say that. I could be completely wrong.
That makes a lot of sense for sure. I can see that. Were you saying something, Tyler?
if I was, I totally forgot.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So who are we, based on this picture alone, who are we going with, gentlemen?
Probably Regan.
Regan.
He has a
Yeah.
tighter waist. The legs is the only thing that I'm having a hard time with.
Yeah.
Also, when Nathan's opening up more too, you can see he has a big delt. His shoulders are big, but his triceps are facing more away from where the camera's taking. Whereas, like you can see Regan's actual like horseshoe and
Tricep.
tricep thickness right there, which is the pose. So,
His arm does look more impressive for sure.
mhm.
Yeah, it's really close, but I could go Regan. I could go Regan for
Yeah.
sure.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
Back lat. Regan's pretty impressive from behind,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
I gotta give Regan.
it's hard to argue with most of Regan's back poses. I will say though, last week the one that I actually did watch the live stream from Nathan's actual back might,
It's denser.
yeah, it's
10
dense
times
and it's
denser.
thick,
Yeah.
but
But
looking
it's
at this
his
whole shot, it's Regan 100% here. He's wider, He has
Yeah.
more detail, especially like looking at his lower lat right there, where it's like above the erectors, where it's coming in right there. That whole Christmas tree, how
Yeah.
thick that is, and then his adductors and his hamstrings are gnarly. So
Insane.
Yes. Yeah, it's the adductors and hammies that seals the deal for me. That's just
Mm.
like,
I wonder if Nathan's all the way in this pose though. It doesn't look like he's set back yet. It looks like he's come
yeah,
forward, but he hasn't set back yet.
I would agree with that. It does look
Mm.
like he's kind of
Unfinished.
75% in the pose. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but again, based on this picture alone, I mean, the only place Nathan is winning, I would say, is obviously like conditioning, and which you can see through the glutes a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, neither of them have crazy, crazy deep glute striations or anything
You
like
see
that.
Well, no,
Nathan's
I think
conditioning through the glutes, but then you see Regan's conditioning through the hamstrings, which looks like he has just much
Yeah,
more detail down in that area. So it's kind of like a
yeah,
trade-off, and it might also be the way that they are hitting the pose with their hips,
yeah.
whichever way they're
mhm.
pushing their hips. If
Hmm.
Regan's pushing his hips a little bit more forward and he's just flexing at the knee, he's not going to get too much glute activation.
Yeah, I would give this side chest to Nathan for sure.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
Again, some of it's posing. Like I like that Nathan's opened up more, so you can actually see the chest. The bicep looks fuller and rounder. That right shoulder looks great. Side leg looks nasty.
Look at how tight or how deep that line is when you look at his quad
Yeah,
separation from his glute and his hamstring, and then look at Regan's.
yeah,
Virtually soft
yeah.
from the
Hmm.
picture. From the picture.
Hmm.
His is just so sharp too, though. Regan's is very straight line. Nathan's is just a sharp, like,
Yes.
Hmm.
Really just jagged and
yep,
gnarly. Like you could stick a pencil in there and it wouldn't move.
yep.
100%.
And just to emphasize this yet again, we're not talking shit about Regan.
No, not at
Like,
all, man. I mean, shit.
I'm like, damn,
Regan looks
fucking
great too.
phenomenal.
I
Yeah,
wonder if Regan's putting his weight on his back leg in this pose, and Nathan's more standing on his front leg, and that's why you're seeing more of that detail coming out on the side leg.
could be for sure.
That's solid. It does like he's gently placing his foot down on the ground
Yeah,
Yep, yep. I would agree with that.
because his calf isn't as activated.
yep.
Hmm. That's the thing too, guys. Is a lot of times these critiques are fixed just by posing tweaks. You know, it's not even that they don't have the detail or the physique. They're just not showing it properly. That's
Yep.
super common.
It's really upsetting when people have posing issues too, just because that's something that you can fix right away.
Hmm.
Yep.
That's the only thing you can fix. Like
Yep.
in 2
Everything else
seconds.
takes a long time and consistency
Hmm.
to get handled. Front
Well,
lat,
this looks like, I don't
Nathan.
know. Well, for sure, Nathan. I don't know if Regan's not
Yeah,
fully in the shot or if that's how he was hitting it, but I don't
that's
like how Regan's
It
hitting that
looks
right
like
there.
he's in it to me.
yeah. From what I saw, I think this is it.
Man,
You guys
he
like how
does.
he's leaned so far back? I don't like that.
No, that's what it is. I think that's what I was gonna say. This might be a posing thing for him too. And for a guy who is wider, structurally, this should be a shot that he wins every time. So I wonder if that is something that he can fix. I think just putting the hips back more, leaning forward with
Yes.
the shoulders, not
Yes.
rotating the shoulders forward, just leaning forward more, like
Just
closer.
leaning from the
But
Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't know
yeah.
if that would
Slow.
even do him enough.
That way.
I don't know if it would do enough for him in this shot too, because Nathan is
It's just
still,
fucking
especially in
dense.
the lower body, he's just so much bigger. His legs
Dude,
look a lot more filled out here.
that's such a good shot for Nathan right
Yeah,
there.
that's a really good front lat.
The way
Hmm.
you can really tell the conditioning's there too with how pulled up he is and how much detail you still see in his midsection. Quads are crazy detailed and full.
And the
Like,
chest. Look
man,
at the thickness difference in the
Nathan
chest.
definitely brought a lot more fullness to this show as well. And because he has that nasty conditioning already, I feel like it's a really, really good package. Yeah, he looks
I
nice.
wonder if Regan, I don't think Regan has a weak chest compared to his other body parts, so it's just hard for me to like understand why it is the way that it is. When he like comes up in these shots, you just see how Nathan's is thicker, but Regan does not have a small chest.
It could even
No.
just be the fact that he's leaned so far back too. It's making his
Mhm.
chest
Well,
look tighter than it
Al-
is.
Also, what I'm looking at is his hand positioning. Like they're kind of forward, so he's not really squeezing the chest to begin with. Like
Yeah.
look at
Mm,
Nathan's hands a little bit. They started off further back, and then like
mm,
Regan's has been pushing forward and forward, kind of releasing that tension up top.
Yeah.
interesting. I could see that. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, Nathan's chest looks nice and full and round there for sure. Just slabs of beef.
See
Okay.
that? See the lat?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That so he is having trouble with the right side a little bit, I think.
It looks like his arm is a little bit downsized in comparison to the other side too, and I wonder if he's just got that kind of
Interesting.
tightness.
You can
You know, maybe he
it might-
sleeps on his right side.
Yeah, maybe so.
Now you can see it like the left shoulder pops even more. Actually, it's like it's
Yeah,
tilted, but it might be the camera angle. I'm saying this too.
that's
Yeah.
also true. Yeah, the only reason that I'm saying what I'm saying is just because this is an issue that I've been dealing with. And I feel like when I see other people kind of having the same issue, I can see it right away just because I'm so aware of it in myself. So
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but Mike Van Wyck also did say that with training with Regan and everything, he does know that he has a lat imbalance. I wonder
Hmm.
if that lat imbalance is just due to his shoulder mobility on that side.
I remember him
Mm,
saying that too.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think some of it might be too that Regan is just still learning how to pose all this new muscle.
Yep, that could be
Because
it.
he's what, like
Yeah.
20 pounds up this year?
I have
Oh
no
yeah.
idea. I honestly don't follow Regan super closely.
I think Milo said when he was like 2 weeks out, he was up 20 pounds from 2 weeks out the year before, or
Yeah.
last time he competed, whenever that was. So yeah, man. I
He's
mean, that's a lot of new tissue to make not look awkward, you know?
he's got to like maybe not do so much of a straight up and down bodybuilder up front double.
Yeah,
He can do something kind of more similar to like what an Andrew Jacked would do, where he does maybe lean over on his hip on one leg more,
yeah.
spike one other leg out, and then kind of give not like twist his shoulders. He could probably keep those still level, but I think when he puts his legs just straight out and he just comes up and opens up just straight from the front like that, it might not be the best thing for his shape.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nathan, I mean, maybe it's also just because he's standing next to Nathan right here, and Nathan just has a perfect physique for that kind of front double.
100%, man. Yeah,
Nathan reminds me of Akeem here.
I can see that with those
It's
big.
just the way that their Latin waist is, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. Josh, what did you think about Nathan's waist in this show? Because I remember last weekend you said it looked maybe a little slightly thicker than you'd seen it before.
So I just know in the 2016 Olympia, and if you pull up, if you wanted to look up a front double from the 2016 Olympia, you'll see his waist is just so much more like just streamlined. But here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
last week I was wondering if it was more of like a carb up issue, just the amount of food that he had eaten and everything, because it was a little bit more noticeable at prejudging than finals. But then if you look here, you can kind of see it too. And now I'm just thinking his obliques and his abs might just have a little bit more thickness and muscle on them.
Mhm.
So it's
Which
not
is
like it's a tension and it's
insane.
not a gut. He just has a little bit more muscle down there. So it might look like it's a little bit less straight up and down than it was. And it could just be maybe, I don't know if he's changed the way he's training or not, but that could have something to do with it. Or it's just, when you put on size, you keep pushing size, certain things like that are going to change. I think
For sure.
in 2016, his waist was just crazy, just
Just
perfect, straight up and down. So
non-existent. Yeah. Here, I found a shot. Let me switch screens real quick.
Yeah, I gotta see this because I didn't see what he looked like in 2016. They look like little fish gills, as thick as they are on the side.
Straight up, man.
yeah, dude, for me, I don't know. It's just I know what he looked like in 2016. And as soon as I saw that show last week, I Googled it to find it. And yeah, see right there, that's the picture that I sent. Look at his waistline
Yeah.
and then his lats. It's just straight, completely just in.
Waist non-existent. But you can
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
see you can definitely see where his muscularity's come up a
I
lot
was
too.
gonna say, look at him in this picture versus that,
Sheesh.
especially in the legs. It's
Yeah.
crazy how much he's improved.
Yeah, the legs is the most noticeable. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to go back and forth here.
So maybe that thickness in his waist and all that extra muscle was built from the way that he's been training legs heavier. Who knows? That
Yeah,
could
yeah.
be multiple different reasons why that could be a
Yeah.
thing. But
But yeah, if you look at the lower body, no comparison.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going Nathan here,
Yeah,
obviously.
Nathan, I'm giving that to Nathan. Even if
Yeah.
just like
Yeah,
looking at
for sure.
simply, look at the
Yeah.
biceps.
Yeah.
I think Regan's biceps are could use some work. I think I
What
mean
would you say to balance?
that's something that you
What
kind
you
of
say to
notice a lot when
balance?
somebody has a strength, a genetics, not even genetic strength, but they have a glaring strength in their physique.
Yeah.
You will see another muscle that's like for him, his strength is his back. That's a pulling muscle group. Then you look at his biceps, that's another pulling muscle group. Maybe he's not getting a lot of bicep activation because he's just getting so much in the back. You see this a lot more with people in their chest, shoulders, and triceps. People who
Yeah.
have like really strong triceps, really big triceps, they generally like will lack more in the chest because that's kind of what's taking over in those movements. So I wonder if he just needs to do a little bit more um, just specific bicep work.
Mhm. I just feel like arms are secretly the most important muscle group for a bodybuilder because I feel like they are.
I feel like they are, and the reason I feel like they are is
Mm-hmm.
because my weak point.
Same.
Yep.
Because I feel like everyone says, arms don't win bodybuilding shows, but I feel like they totally do. Because
No, arms
I
is.
was like, I don't think they don't win it, but they complete. Which
Imagine if
is
Regan
what
had
I've.
bigger arms here. Just think of his
yes,
physique, even the way he's hitting his pose right here. If his arms were bigger,
put Nick Walker's arms on Regan's physique
that would
rating.
be something else.
That'd be weird. that would be a little weird.
That'd be wild looking, man.
Yes,
Honestly, put Nick Walker's arms on any other bodybuilder, and they level up like 100 times. You know what I
I
mean?
think the
Like,
size of your arms is going to be so important just because it can give you more poses that you can do or more different ways that you can actually hit poses. Like
Mhm.
you can't do a
And
crucifix pose or a victory pose if you got small arms. You can't.
no,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna
it
lie,
makes
even with bigger arms, they can help hide some of the weaker areas when you're hitting
Oh yeah.
them side shots too.
for
Yeah, like
sure.
even if you have like a wider waist, if you have a wider waist, you can offset that with bigger arms because the
Hmm.
proportions at that point will look quite different.
100%. A perfect example of a bodybuilder who would literally be, in my opinion, Mr. Olympia with big set of arms would be James Hollingshead. If you put Nick Walker's arms on James Hollingshead, he's Mr. Olympia.
You know,
Like
I don't think I noticed too much anything in James' arms as far as like them being weak. I think for James, it's just he doesn't have
Pull them
shoulder
up.
width.
that too, for sure. Wait, let's finish running through these real quick. Or was that the last one? Oh yeah, and then we're back to most muscular.
Yeah. Oh, there's the crab.
There's the
See how
crab.
much better that
Yeah.
looks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
But
Regan
yeah,
has his hands on hips.
I
I
mean,
give this one to Nathan.
yeah, for sure. So let's see. We
Yeah.
got Nathan, 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 Nathan. That's four for Nathan. Regan, Regan, Regan. There's three for Regan. Based on the picture, Regan. So now we're 4-4. So I mean, I can see it where we have it right now. It's basically a tie. So
Yeah, so yeah, it was close regardless. And then a lot
yep.
of people will say maybe they gave Regan the nod at this show because Nathan got his qualification last show, and it was still really close last show.
Hmm.
But you know, who knows? Yeah, look up
We don't
James.
want to say they did that.
James is possibly one of my favorite bodybuilders,
I
like
love
ever.
James'
So,
physique, man.
and he
It's
was squatting some good fucking weight yesterday.
With
like
with ease too. Might I
posted.
add. With ease.
Yeah,
Every time I see
he's
this
the
man
reason I
squat, I'm
squat
like,
heavy. He's the reason I like to squat heavy.
Yeah, right.
shit.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna lie. I just imagine my back, my erectors being huge as fuck if I was to squat that at least twice.
It's pretty crazy that he can even get into this
Yeah,
pose.
that's not an easy pose to hit, even if you're a classic guy. That's a
No.
he poses with what's his name? He's a classic guy. Damn it, I want to know his name. He's really, really
I
good.
remember who you're talking about. A couple years back, he put out like those black and white videos
Yeah,
posing with that classic guy.
I can't think of what his name is, but
I
see,
can't
I
either.
have no issues at all with his arm. Dude, where would we have had James at this show if he was 100%? I think he would have won it, but I might be
Pete,
speaking on a bias.
Man, if
uh,
he
let's
100%
honestly
James,
based off of this, if Pete that yeah, bro, I don't.
That's
If
ridiculous.
yeah, no, I
that's
think
crazy, man.
he would win that
His only
because
knock, I would
if
say,
they're looking,
is just clavicle width.
Yeah,
Dude, when he does this, the vein that he has in his erectors too in his lower back through that Christmas tree is just
yeah,
so crazy.
gnarly, dude. The
some
only,
squats, bro.
honestly, I think the only knock on James is his ability to translate this to stage. That's the only thing he's still trying to perfect.
Speaking issue more than anything.
Yeah, man, because all of his prep updates, even his off-season updates, it's like, how is this guy not Mr. Olympia? You know?
That's just what it is, though. When you stand alone, a lot of people look like they're Mr. Olympia until you put them next to other guys, and they start to see what their weaknesses are if somebody else has that strength. And that's all it
Yeah,
is for James is the width
yeah,
of his shoulders. If he's standing by himself, you'd say he'd be Mr. Olympia, but then you put him next to Andrew, and his shoulders are just wider.
yeah, yeah.
I don't see anything with his arms, though. I think his arms are pretty wild. Honestly, I think he's got great arms.
I think in a lineup, they're they're not a standout body part. I would say that. They've definitely come up a lot for
Yeah.
sure in the last year or
I'm
two.
trying to see him. Is find a front double.
And this is a
Like,
good look right here. Holy
I
shit.
don't know if he posts front doubles often.
It might just mostly be in his front and back double, to be honest. Because in his most muscular, his arms look great. There's no gaps.
right.
I just
Damn.
always like when I look at I don't know if you guys are like this, but if I have a weak point, I notice it immediately on somebody else when they do not have that weak point.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I'm drawn to on every single bodybuilder that I see is triceps, and I
Uh-huh.
feel like James has really good triceps. So that's where I'm just basing it off. I just feel like his
Yeah.
arms are.
Yeah. No, I hear you for sure. I mean, he looks super complete right here. You'd be hard pressed to find anything wrong with this shot, for
Yeah,
sure. Damn.
Hmm.
I don't think he's planning on doing anything anytime soon.
Yeah, what is he doing? He's taking this year off, right?
Most likely, I don't know. He seems like he's kind of going, honestly, and this is speculation.
Good
I'm not speaking
emotions.
on absolutes whatsoever. This is just a guess from the way that he talks. I feel like he's going the way of Ian. I don't think he's going to necessarily retire right away, and I do believe he'll still compete, but it just seems like he's finding more joy in other things outside of bodybuilding lately, and he doesn't want to
Yeah.
sacrifice those things. And he's still just like the way that it is to me. You know how Ian was talking like, oh, he like trained with Mike Van Wyck, trying to get that excitement back as far as competing and everything goes. Well, James was like trying different methods for dieting and peaking to get that excitement back.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like he's looking to retire sometime soon, but I don't know for sure.
No, for sure, man. If I had, again, pure speculation, but if I had to guess, I would venture to guess that James is where Ian was at, like maybe last year,
Yeah.
where he's like just a year behind that thought process of like, okay, maybe he has a little bit that he still wants to do to leave his mark on bodybuilding, but he's close to being ready to hang it up, I think. I think you're right.
Yep. And he's young too. He's about the same age, I believe, as Ian is, like
Hmm.
33, 34 ish.
I think so. Yeah, I think
It's
so.
weird.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I'm
We never even really talked about that on here. What do you guys think about Ian throwing in the towel, hanging up?
Um,
good for him.
so yeah, I'm really happy for him in that way, and I feel like I mean, he always talks about wanting to have a family and have kids and stuff, and I feel like that's just the direction he wants to go, and that's awesome for him, and he really doesn't have anything to prove.
Yeah,
The only thing
Nope.
that I would say, as far as I'm upset about, is everybody compares him to Dorian Yates in the way that like you need to see him in person to really understand, and I've never got to see him compete in person, and I wish I did because
likewise.
I believe that, and I know I can picture what it would look like. I know what he brings. It's just I didn't get to see it. I know what that when you have a physique like his and you get like he's usually the leanest guy at the show when he competes. And he also has just a ton of muscle. people will think that he's off when you see pictures or videos or whatever, just because you're not seeing striations and details, but that's because it's just super dense, grainy muscle with no skin on it.
Yes.
And that's something that I want to see in person, have not
Yes.
seen.
100%, man. Yeah. That's the only reason I'm at all bummed about it. Like as a fan of Ian the human being, I think it's a great call for him. Seems like it's he's happy with the decision. Seems like the right call for him at this stage in his life. Super happy for him. As a fan of Ian the bodybuilder, I'm really bummed I never got to actually see him face to face, you know.
Yep.
I've never met him either. I've never actually met him at an expo or anything. So
No, I've
I
never
hope
met him in person. I've just talked to him in DMs every now and then, and he's pretty cool. And I think I'm still a fan of his, regardless of if he's competing or not. Like, I'm still
oh,
going to keep up
absolutely.
with what he's got going on because I just like him
Yeah,
as a person. And also, I just
you
think he's
do.
going to go the way of like analyzing physiques, and he's going to do a test judging here soon and all that. So I think that's going to just be somebody like him who's just very realistic. And also, even when he was competing, he was able to be realistic and impartial to himself. As far as like if he was doing a lineup and setting up placings, he would not place himself above somebody that is better than him in like a judging criteria standpoint. He was actually very good at removing himself and being realistic like that. So we need people like that to be, talking more on these shows, and I think that's cool.
For sure, man. I think you'd be a great judge. I think that
Yeah,
just makes
because
total sense.
Makes
Fuad
sense.
posted a video on his channel where they go over this show that we're talking about right now. I have not seen it yet, but
Yeah.
Ian's in it, and I'm kind of excited to watch that whenever I get some time because I'm just assuming Ian's going to be very analytical of the physiques in a way that a lot of people do not understand how to see the sport. Because when you talk about thickness and conditioning and shape and structure and all of these things that people just do not understand, I feel like Ian has a good way of wording it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the whole thing yet either, but I watched probably the first half this morning while I was getting my coffee ready, throwing some
Yeah.
chicken in the slow cooker, just doing stuff before I got on here. And it very much is like that. Like Ian's it's prime analytical Ian for sure.
They just did because I saw that how long it is. It's not like a regular podcast length. Did
Mm.
they just go into the show? That's it? They just looked at the show?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
You're right
yeah.
into it.
See, I really hope they do that for every show, but I know that that's going to be difficult with timing and stuff. But that would be awesome to have like a recap, like
Hmm.
from people that know what they're looking at.
Hmm. Oh,
Because then
absolutely.
they posted this like 3 hours after the show, after finals, didn't they?
Yeah, it was really quick.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it come up on my phone, and I was obviously busy. I couldn't watch it, but I plan on watching it when I get some time. But
Hmm.
I would think that that'd be really cool. I like doing it, so I would like to see people that are professionals that know what they're talking about too, also analyzing a show and breaking it down. And Tyler Mannion's been doing a good job of that on the Instagram with like explaining
Yep.
judging criteria and stuff too. So I
Hmm.
feel like seeing that from an athlete's perspective would also be good. Top
You know
athlete's
what?
perspective.
You know what I also really enjoyed, and I hope they do this more, um, was when they did the live commentary for a couple shows like a year or two ago. They did like basically a live podcast
Yeah.
while they were watching the live stream of I think it was an Olympia.
Yeah, though they've done it with a couple shows, and I like when they do that
Yeah.
too because you have to buy the live stream to still watch it, which is still
Yes.
promoting the show, and it's
Yes.
still giving money to the promoters and the athletes and everything.
What I
But
did,
you're listening to them instead of Sean Ray, and that's just
it's
so
always good.
much better.
Dude, what I did, which was so fun for me, was I had the live stream on my laptop, and then I think I had the commentary up on my TV or vice versa. I don't remember which. And I just had the live stream on mute, so I was watching it without the sound, and then they were reacting to everything live.
Yep, yep.
That was awesome. It was the best experience I've ever had watching a bodybuilding show.
Personally, I think that if it was a possibility, I think Fuad should be the one that would be in that position. But I do, I've been following bodybuilding since I was 12 years old, so I'm not saying this out of like just being ignorant. I do not understand how Sean Ray has the position that he has, and I just don't. I don't get it. Everything that I see from that guy just pisses me off. He's
Yeah.
so negative. He talks shit on the new era. He doesn't even know who the fucking athletes are. He thought Antoine Viantny and Vaillare were the same person. You guys know Brian Jones, Lord Jones? He was a classic
Yeah.
guy. He's moving into open.
Yeah.
That guy has one of the craziest physiques I've ever seen in my fucking life. The show that he won, And he was doing his routine. He was going up for individuals. All Sean was talking about was his hair. I'm like, are
Hair.
you looking at his fucking physique, by the way? And also, he won. Like,
Yeah.
talk about him more. And I think that's the same show that he mistook Ian for Antoine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Dude,
funny.
the impression I get is that I don't know if Sean Ray's got like some dirt on some people or what, but he's definitely like the IFBB's problem child that they just kind of like protect
Yeah, well,
because it seems like from the outside looking in, it seems like the whole league is just like, come on, dude. Like again, like it seems like everyone's just like, come on, Sean. But they keep
I
him in
think
that
it's
position for whatever reason. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's extremely sad because that guy should have a similar. People should look at him in a similar way that they do to like somebody like a Flex Wheeler.
Yep.
But Flex Wheeler is actually a good person and he does things for the sport. And I just, whatever. Who cares? I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about. People will say because I'm young and I've been watching this shit since I was 12 years old, and I've not liked Sean Ray since I was pretty much 14 years old.
Dude, honestly, I think you're at this point you're in the vast majority. I haven't heard
I
any.
haven't heard of any positive things. No, no.
No, no, I don't think Sean Ray has any fans at this point. And if he does, they're not normal bodybuilding fans for
Yeah.
sure. So, man, that
No.
was some really good show coverage we did today, boys.
right.
I like that. Some good
Honestly, we jumped right
bodybuilding
into
chat.
it.
What's that type?
I said, honestly, we jumped right into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I was excited to talk about it. I mean, it was really fresh. It was yesterday. They did that show on a Sunday, so it was super super fresh to talk about. I think there's one coming up this next weekend too, but I don't know if there's open in it because when they were talking about it, they talked about shows that are up for the rest of the year for qualifiers for the open. I think they just said Legion and
Yeah, I think that's the only one. That's the last one.
but what
It
about
is.
so no there's no open in Dubai? Dubai's classic only or what?
Let's look it up, fellas.
Yeah, I'm not
Do
sure. The only person I saw talking about Dubai is Rough D's.
Yeah, that's he's
okay.
been there for a bit, so I know that they're doing classic there at least, and I didn't know if they were doing open or not, but I can't find competitors lists,
Is
so
this
I'm
the
just getting
Dubai Pro?
frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
but
September 24th. Here we go.
I can't find a competitors list for Legion.
Mm.
Oh,
I don't know
really?
if they've given one yet, but it's like 3 weeks out, so I figured they would at least have some names that they could say are for sure going to be there.
Only person I know is Charles Griffin.
Oh yeah, Charles is doing it. Man, Charles looks good right
He
now.
he re- he's came so far in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
Charles
bro.
is doing Legion.
Yeah,
Yep.
because
Very
after he tore
under
or had that minor injury, set him back a little bit. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
very
There's another
underrated
name.
bodybuilder.
There's another bigger name doing Legion. I cannot think of who it is, and it's going to bother me.
Wait, there's also the Charroux Classic in France
Oh, yep, France.
on the 30th.
Is Roman in that list? Because he doesn't so damn much. When he
I
competes, he does
know.
them all.
And then Legion is the 7th of October.
Do you have a
Yeah, let's see.
competitors list on Legion, or is that just the date?
That was just the date, but let's see if I can
Damn it.
find one.
I can't
Uh,
find the list. I just need to know the names. Like, I know some names. I just cannot, like, they're like on the tip of my tongue. Like, I can think of it, but
yeah.
I was just talking about it on Saturday. Saturday was the day, and I was trying to look for it.
Here's let's see.
That's going to be a good show, though. I'm definitely going to watch that one. If I can actually go there and be there, I'm going to try because I've got Terrence obviously is doing Legion, and I'm friends with him. My friend Chiron, I don't know if you guys know Chiron Holden. He was a
Oh
men's
yeah,
physique.
yeah.
Familiar.
He's
Who is
doing
He's
his
this?
doing
classic
classic.
debut here. Yeah, and he looks really, really good. I'm excited for him.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm not finding any competitor list, but let's pull up some guys. Chiron, is that
Yep,
KY?
Kyron. I'm
Did
excited
Breon
for.
make his transition yet? Or is he waiting?
I think he
No,
said
he's
something about now that the weight cap has changed, he's going to
yeah.
stay in classic.
Yeah, he's
You gonna
doing
stay?
classic this year because of the weight cap bump, and he thinks that the extra weight can give him the edge, is what I
What
read.
was the difference? What was his difference in weight? Because I thought not a lot of people had. I didn't think the gaps were
Seven
that
pounds.
big.
There's almost
Seven.
$100,000 award budget on the Legion.
Oh wow.
Yeah, look at that side try. Everybody who talks shit about that side try because it's illegal, but he's classic, so fuck off. That's a good.
This is illegal.
Yeah,
That's a
for real.
good ass side try.
That's a pretty physique, man.
When you see him pull up into a front double, you see a lot more of his shape. You can see he might need a little bit more thickness in that upper body before he's super, super competitive, but I think he could be a top guy in classic because
Oh
as
yeah.
you'll see right here, look at that. That reminds me of Tyler's. Tyler, you got a front double like that.
Yeah, actually, Tyler does have a pretty front double like that.
That's my front double. I trademark it now.
It was good, man. It looks real good.
Yeah,
How?
I'm excited. He got his legs up quite a bit in the time that he was trying to bring that. And his posing and everything. I see him working quite a bit on like the way that he transitions between his poses and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it's super smooth when he's doing his quarter turns and everything. You see it like he posts more of that stuff on his story, but
Okay.
it's just so it flows so well. Like eyes are gonna be drawn to him specifically, even just the way that he flows between his poses.
How
You
close
know,
is he?
know some,
What's
How
that?
close is he to his weight cap?
I'm not sure. When I talked to him before he started prep, I think he said that he was 235. And I know that that was pretty high above his weight cap, but now there's that bump and everything too. So he's probably got plenty of room.
Okay.
Um,
mm,
I don't know what he's weighing currently. I just know I think he started prep around 235, 240-ish when we talked. That's such a good front double though.
Good
It
it
just
shout.
like
is.
I said, maybe
It
more
really is.
thickness in the upper body, but you look at how he's flowing into his poses, like he's got a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
What I was
And
about to
this
ask,
was
like looking at pro physique guys, like obviously I don't think either one of us truly follow those, but the transition from a physique guy to classic, do you think secretly when they planning on that they start training their legs like as they're making that decision while they're in
Um,
physique, or do you think they
like
just they're
if
like,
they're
nah?
in men's physique and they want to do classic, they train legs, but they stay in men's physique. Is that what you mean? Or do you just mean like
Yeah,
are they using that as a stepping stone to get into?
using that as a stepping stone.
I don't know, it kind of depends because there's actually a lot of uh, this might be something that people don't like me to say, but I'm gonna say it. It's just honest. You're gonna see
Laying on
guys.
the mic drop, motherfucker.
So men's physique is non-posed posing, right? So it's like looking statuesque without being in a pose. There's a lot of classic guys. I'm going to say this just so people don't get pissed off at me for what I'm going to say. There's classic guys that can't do that either, right? You can't
Mhm.
just stand there
Right.
and do men's physique and win it. But there's certain men's physique guys, and I'm going to use one as an example, so that's why I'm saying people might freak out on me for this because he's very high followed. There's certain men's physique guys who want to do classic that just cannot. So Jeremy Buendia is the example that I'm going to use. He has won the men's physique Olympia 4 times. He looks great in that category. But as soon as he does any type of classic poses, I don't even see him winning a pro card in classic. It's just the way that physiques are built, or like it's just you're kind of. I feel like if you're built perfect for men's physique, you're built perfect for men's physique, and you can't really class up. It really just depends. Like I think that I'm just using him as an example specifically because that's somebody that I've seen who's in that class that does very well in that class, but just probably can't go outside of it for whatever reason, just the way he's built. I can't even figure out what it is about him that like makes me think that. I've just seen him when he was talking about transitioning, and that's just what I think.
Mhm.
That's why people
I
are
think
getting
men's,
mad at me.
I think men's physique is a very, I mean, all divisions are like this, right? But it's very much structure dependent. Like, I mean, shoot, if you throw a pair of board shorts on me and had me hit some men's physique poses, I wouldn't even place. You know what I mean? Like, it's just clearly it's not for everybody. You have to have a
Yeah,
very
Right.
specific structure to pull it off. I can
I
speak
couldn't
on
do
this a
it.
little bit. I can speak on this a little bit because my training partner is pro men's physique. Actually, I train with him almost every day, and he trains legs. He actually trains legs pretty hard, but it's just structurally, he's just made for men's physique. You know what I mean? He's got that crazy wide shoulder, cartoonishly small waist, just like that perfect Dorito chip look.
Mhm.
and I think it's just rewarded very highly by the judges in men's physique. So, oh no, I
Okay.
think there's a lot
Somebody,
of men's physique guys. Go ahead,
oh, sorry.
Josh.
Somebody, somebody who was going to transition from men's physique to classic, who I was actually really, really excited about, and I don't think they're
Yeah,
doing it anymore, was Jeremy Potvin.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
What happened to that guy?
He still posts. He competed fairly recently. I don't know. Like I only follow men's physique if it's my friends. So like Chiron is a friend of mine. I'll follow when he does shows when he was competing and stuff. But other than that, I don't really follow men's physique too much. My friend Jose, who I train with and hang out with, he is men's physique and he's trying to get his pro card in men's physique. So he follows it pretty closely. So he'll send me stuff every now and then. And
Hmm.
he sent me something with Jeremy like within the last couple months where he did compete, but I
Okay.
just know that he'd said he was going to do classic, and then he ended up just competing in men's physique, and I don't know any more than that. I just thought when he was posting his classic transition poses and stuff, he looked really, really good.
Okay.
Speaking of a chest, that guy has the best chest in the pro league. I don't care if he's men's physique; he has the best chest in the pro league.
It's pretty gnarly, dude. It's pretty
It's
wild.
it's just I'm jealous for sure.
Yeah, some of the men's physique guys' upper bodies, um, they could be open. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
forget classic. They could be straight up open competitors with their upper bodies.
Yeah, that's the video I was just looking at on my
Yep.
phone. So he's 7 weeks out. He's
Yep.
doing men's physique poses there, but
Yeah.
there's another video that's one row down in the middle on his page, and he's doing classic poses,
Okay.
and he says 7.5 weeks out. So, like,
Oh, right
which
here.
Right.
classes? Well, I guess you can't. He didn't
Well, I want to
qualify in.
see it.
Yeah, so it's gotta be men's physique,
But
but
watch these poses, dude. He would be so good for classic still. Like, that's a great pose.
I could see it. Yeah. He's probably just doing that to show his conditioning and just have
I can
some
do
fun.
it all.
Yeah, that was great.
That's a good
That's
front double.
that's that's a
Maybe more
great.
legs, but
Like that cartoonish waist does wonders.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think maybe more legs
See,
is all he would need, but he's good.
Yep.
like backtracking off this question, like when people say they want to get into bodybuilding, right? And everybody keeps saying they want to start off in physique and they go to classic and then eventually go to open or whatever. And I'm like, just go for what your end goal is. It's going to take
Yep.
just as long, unless
Yeah.
they're pro hunting. And if you're hunting a pro card, you can say it's easier, but there's so many motherfuckers that are doing physique. It's like you got a
Yeah.
better chance of just getting bigger, just going
Well,
straight into it.
my friend who I was just talking about, Jose, I mean, you should look him up real quick, to be honest. I think that he looks damn near ready to be a pro, and he got fourth at his first USA's, but he still doesn't have his pro card yet. And if you see what he looks like, the reason I say you should pull him up is just because I want people to see what an amateur men's physique competitor looks like, so that they stop saying that it's an easy class to get a pro card in too. Because I have a lot of respect for all of the classes, even if I don't follow them necessarily, and I don't think that men's physique is necessarily an easy way to a pro card. Um, but also, there's just a lot of people who don't understand. So this is something else I'm going to say. You don't really get to pick. You get to pick what class you want to do, but your physique and your structure and the way that you fill out kind of dictates it for you at the end of the day. You can't just do classic because you want to do classic. Sometimes you just do not have a classic physique. So just because you fit in the weight cap does not mean that you can be a classic bodybuilder. I'm gonna send you his page, Neil, just so you can.
Yeah, do it.
Bring it up.
Yeah, man, if anything, I feel like men's physique is one of the hardest ways to turn pro just because there's
There's so
so
many.
many
Yeah,
competitors
so many.
and
I mean, I feel
not only the sheer numbers, but it's probably the closest in terms of judging like that lineup is going to
nitpicking.
be. Like everyone is super
Yep,
close, you know what I mean?
yep.
Yeah.
So,
Nitpicking.
yeah. No, whoever's saying that that's the easy way to a card doesn't understand how the judging
Hey,
works.
the young pups.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I hear. I'm like, bro, just because I was the guy that I wanted to do classic, and
Hmm.
I was growing too fast. And I was like, fuck it,
Hmm.
just go
Same.
straight
Yeah.
for open. That was kind of what it was. It was like, fuck
Yeah.
it, because I'm like
Let
I'm
your
not
gonna
about to
lie,
let
body.
my body down.
we're gonna tell him we're gonna go for classic, but if I outgrow it, we're not gonna stop me from outgrowing it. But
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
we yeah.
Exactly. All right, I'm pulling this bad
plus,
boy up.
everybody who I talk to just kind of tells me that I should be classic just the way that I'm built. Like and this is a person's opinion who I respect quite a bit because it's not just that he's a top pro, but he's a good friend of mine. His name's Ricky Moten. He did men's physique and then he did classic and then he did 212.
Oh wow.
Um, he hasn't competed in a little bit. He's gonna be something fucking crazy, dude, when he gets back on stage. But he tells me that I'm really well built for classic too. So for somebody like him to say that to me, it kind of really does steer me in the direction where I would like to stay there for now if I can, just because I do think that I am built for it. But see, this is not a slouch physique at all, and this
No,
is an
Yeah.
amateur men's physique. So a lot of
Jax.
people, a lot of people that would
Right.
say men's physique, let's do that easy route. This is an amateur men's physique, top national men's physique. If you think you
Yeah,
can
dude.
look better than Jose, then go ahead and say that men's physique is an easy place to get.
Yeah, bro. He looks great.
And he's very diligent with his eating and his training. So it's not like he's fucking around either.
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, that's a good physique for sure.
You wouldn't know it, but he had a hernia surgery.
Is that
Seriously?
Bradley Martin?
Clients.
No, that's not Bradley Martin.
No.
First, I thought he was
That's
posing with
Jose.
Bradley Martin.
No. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he looks good, man. Good for him.
I want to get your guys' opinion on Ricky now. Look up.
Oh goodness.
I just want to see because I don't know if everything that he's told me is public. So I'm not going to say anything more than he got his pro card in men's physique and he looks like this now. But he did classic. When I met him in 2020, he got, I think, fourth at the Arnold in classic physique. When I look at this guy, I don't even know how he makes weight cap when he
What's
was
his last
doing it.
name?
And then I sent the profile. His name is Ricky
Oh,
Moten. Um,
uh,
when I look at his legs, I don't know how he put board shorts on those. It's just when I trained with him, he told me he doesn't train triceps at all. So I don't know what the fuck. He's an alien.
damn. Okay. Here we go. Share the screen.
We definitely done a lot of bodybuilding this episode, huh?
This is
Yeah.
definitely bodybuilding central. But
All the visions at this point.
I feel like we're doing a pretty good job of actually explaining things this time for people,
Yeah.
for sure. Damn, dude.
I feel like he is
What are
going
these
to.
arms?
I know he doesn't train
That's
triceps.
crazy. That's
I feel like
crazy.
he's going to
Yes.
be very, 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 very good very soon. He recently just got with Andrew Vu as a coach, and that's Andrew or Carlos Thomas Jr.'s coach.
Okay.
Um, I think Ricky's going to do a lot of big things next year.
Dude, this
Bro,
this
look,
reinforces my point from earlier.
where
Imagine
is his waist?
uh,
Exactly.
imagine
Bro, his
this
waist is the size of his biceps. The way
for
this is
real.
looking.
But imagine this physique with like a 18-inch arm, right? It's
Yeah, see,
like
it wouldn't be, it would, arms are so fucking important.
it's true, man. It's true.
Goodness.
But to have the arms he has and his shoulders still keep up with them
Yeah, man.
is
No,
pretty
it's
crazy
his
too.
upper body looks very balanced.
Hmm.
Let's see what the legs look like. Legs look good too.
Oh, he's got
Oh,
crazy legs.
nice.
Legs are what I trained with him when I was in Texas
Crazy.
in 2021, maybe. I think I was
You say
just
he's
I
going in
just
the 212?
he did 212 most recently, yeah. So
Okay.
Damn.
I trained legs with him when I was 21, and that's still to this day the best leg day I've ever had in my whole life.
Nice.
Yeesh.
His
Yeah,
legs are
he's
very sweepy, very pleasing to the
Very.
eye,
Yeah.
for sure.
the way he
That would look
trains.
kind of weird in some board shorts.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know how you get them in board shorts. He went pro in men's physique though, believe it or not. So
I mean,
damn man.
I can see it. I can see it just by the proportions of the upper body, but the legs, man.
Yeah.
it would be funny. Look at him next to Andrew Jacked. His arm and shoulder still just
Oh, right here.
uh-huh. And
Yeah,
how
dude.
recent
Holy
how
shit.
recent is that? See, look, 57 weeks ago. Okay. He's been out of like competing in bodybuilding and stuff for a little bit just since his last couple shows. So he just kind of looks like the way he
Oh,
looks right now with I mean now he's getting back into it for sure, but what he has more
and this is
recently
all
is
from like
is
this
he's
is all
so
from like
fucking
years ago.
wide. You see him next to other people, and then you kind of really see how big he is too.
Oh,
Fucking
for sure,
insane.
man. Definitely gonna give this guy a follow.
Yep, he's gonna do big things here soon. He
Good
doesn't
for
post
him.
a whole lot, but he probably will here more recently.
That's cool.
Hmm.
So he's staying in 212 then? That's his class?
Um, cut this part out.
It's just
Okay.
This is the part that I don't know if I can say for sure or not. But and since this is going to be the end of the
gotcha.
podcast, hopefully it won't be hard to cut out. He's going to go do
Yeah.
open, but I don't think he's announced that he's going to move into open.
Okay.
Hmm.
Got it.
I talked to him about it on the phone, so I don't know what exactly is public information and what is not.
Got it. Got it.
Got it.
Because I
Understood.
know when he was talking about it, he wanted to kind of make it like not necessarily a surprise, but he's like to like his name just to be up on a competitor list for open, and he doesn't want anybody to anticipate it because he's been out for a while, so a lot of people actually even think he's retired or they just don't know of him anymore because of the newer guys coming in. So he
Mm,
wants to just hop into a show not even being watched and just fucking kill it.
I like it. I can appreciate that strategy for
Yep.
sure.
hmm He's not about like he don't care about popularity and clout and all that shit. He just wants to be a good bodybuilder.
Mm. All right, gentlemen. Well, that was a very bodybuilding heavy episode. It was what, like an hour and a half of bodybuilding talk? That's
Right.
that's
Yep.
sick, man. I like it. I like that we're all big enough fans of bodybuilding that we can shoot the shit about it for that long. That's sick.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fun when the Olympia starts to come up here soon.
I agree. Do you
Because
guys
I'm still
find, do you guys have a lot of people in your normal day-to-day lives to talk bodybuilding with, or is it kind of a rarity for you?
Definitely a
um,
rarity.
my
Yeah.
my normal day-to-day life is myself. So
Still
I
Right.
don't
judge.
really,
Yeah.
I mean, I talk bodybuilding with like Ricky and I'll talk on the phone every now and then. We'll talk about some stuff, or me and Terrence will message about it, like when the shows happen. And I have my friends I can message and text about it, but
Mm,
other than that, no, I don't really think that too many people talk about bodybuilding with me. I
mm.
actually had a good training session with my buddy Mark this weekend, and we only talked about bodybuilding the whole entire time. So that was refreshing because I just don't get to a lot, and I have a lot to say about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, I
Yeah,
haven't
dude.
stopped talking for this whole hour and a half, and it's just been bodybuilding. So you can see that I have a lot of shit to talk about.
Dude, same here, man. I have a couple of good friends that I'll talk bodybuilding with. But it's a pretty rare thing to actually meet somebody who understands it as well as I do and who follows it as closely as I do. A lot of even like fellow competitors don't follow it this close. They'd
hmm
be like, "Oh, there was a show this weekend." Like they wouldn't they wouldn't even know. So
Yeah.
it's refreshing, man, to be able to get on here for an hour and a half and just talk about what I consider to be, my favorite sport in the world. So,
Oh, I've got a guy. He's a friend of mine. I would say as far as social media goes, he's bigger in like the PED realm of social media as far as like education with that kind of thing.
mhm.
And because of that reason, you wouldn't know it, but he's very well versed in competitive bodybuilding and very well versed in like PEDs, and it's crazy how much he knows about it. So I think that's a person that would be good to have on as a guest at some point too, so that we can actually deep dive into compounds and people can understand that stuff, but also just a guy who knows bodybuilding. So he's somebody who I
That's
can
cool.
talk to about it every now and then too.
Yeah, man, this is what,
He's
episode 5
yeah,
today? I think this is
I think
5.
so. Well, technically,
Mhm.
right? Because we posted 4. Yeah,
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, technically. Technically
technically
6,
6.
I think.
We have a missing episode.
But I feel like 5 is a pretty good number to where we can maybe start thinking about scheduling some guests. What do you boys
Yeah, it'll
think?
bring more eyes to us because their
Yeah,
following will come over to see them too. So
yeah. We've clearly established a rapport between the three of us where we can sit and talk for an hour and a half without any issue. So
Right.
we're good there.
Rolling.
We're good there. I think that we're ready to take on maybe a guest or two. If people watching have any ideas of guests that you want to see on here, realistically, like obviously we're probably not going to get Chris Bumstead as our first guest, but
Right.
if you have some realistic suggestions, feel free to leave a comment and tag them, and send them our content for sure. We'd really appreciate it. But in the meantime, yeah, Josh, it sounds like you got some people that would be good guests. I
yeah,
might have a couple. I might have a couple. I'll put some feelers out there. But
I
yeah, I
got a
think that'd be fun.
few. I got a few,
cool.
especially a few talking about social media.
Hmm.
So
Dude,
Yeah, I
Tyler,
mean
let's.
anybody. I want to see. It doesn't like. I mean, we're all primarily bodybuilding, obviously, but I still think that like I like to see things from other scopes, like different perspectives on the same thing is just so interesting to me. So it wouldn't even matter
Yeah,
if they're more like social media influencer, fitness kind of thing, because I feel like that's just going to be a whole interesting perspective for us to see and to put that on display for other people to listen to. Just kind of, I don't know. Everybody sees things so differently. It's just very interesting. And when you train for a different goal, like you're not even competing, you just do the social
yeah,
media thing. I would really be
yep.
interested to see what somebody's perception on competing would be.
for sure, man. I mean, to hear more about like what drives somebody like that when it's not the stage, that'd be very interesting to hear for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tyler, let's get Shire on here.
I can hit him up.
That'd be
I
sick.
can definitely hit him up. It's going. It would have to be in the next couple of weeks before shit hit the fan with his prep. But
Oh,
yeah,
true, huh? Because he's
yeah,
Yeah.
what, a little less than 7 weeks
7.
out now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the conversations I've had with him, like just over DMs and stuff, he's been pretty chill. So,
Oh, he seems like the coolest guy ever, man. I met him just briefly at the Olympia Expo when I was standing in line at the RBP booth. But
hmm
he's the shit, man, and he's way bigger in person than you would imagine. He was peak off season at the time, but dude,
Still a lot of shit.
his arms
that's
looked like
another
they
guy
were
that has
like,
massive arms. I could talk to Justin
oh my
about shoes for a long fucking time.
sweet,
Facts. Facts. He and
sweet.
Jasmine got a crazy shoe game.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, let's put some feelers out there.
But
Get
Cool.
them
Sounds
on.
good.
Sweet. All right,
yo,
boys. It's fun.
all right. Real quick before we cut this off, I got a question for you, Neil. So when I
Yeah, yeah.
signed in and tried to download the clips, it sent you an email.
Oh,
Do I
yep.
gotta how do so
Yeah.
can I is there a direct way I can do it or do I have to kind of go through your
No,
email
you
to
just have to
do
let him
the
know and he'll forward it to you. That's what me and him had to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
all I have to do is literally, I don't even have to download it on my end or nothing. I can literally just forward the email to your email. So if you just give me heads up, you can even tell me like, okay, I'm gonna export like 5 clips today. Then I know, and then I'll watch for them and I'll just forward them as they come in.
Okay.
I still have two
Perfect.
clips
What's
from
your
our
available?
last, not the last episode, but episode 3. I still have 2 clips from that I'm going to edit and post up too. So we should
Okay.
have a good amount here coming in. I just haven't had
Perfect.
time to do it.
Okay.
And what I was saying earlier, when we posted either on the actual
Hmm.
podcast page or one of us uh
Wh-
collab it
What I
instead
was
of just tag us
what I was
Yeah.
going to
because
say,
it
what you
shows
can
up on
do,
our feed.
Hmm.
invite as collaborator, and then it posts
Hmm.
on both as if it's both of the
Yeah.
feeds. So it'll go on both.
Perfect.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah, you can post it either on yours or you can primarily post on that one. Just invite as collaborator, and it won't matter at the end of the day.
Then it'll be on
Yep.
both ones. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And we
Perfect.
don't have, and we don't have to do it on all of us. Let's do it on ones where either one of us is talking the most because
Yeah.
it helps everybody for that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like if it's a clip where Josh is doing most of the talking, we collab with Josh's personal or
Yeah.
mine or yours. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
just like
sense.
how
Yeah.
Neil posted that one recently.
Yeah. Hmm. Exactly.
So
Sweet.
Cool.
Sounds like a plan, boys.
perfect.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Let's.
good talking to you guys again. I mean, it's getting harder to even hang up these things lately. So,
I
No, you
like
hang up.
you hang up first. I love how they're getting longer, but they're getting longer just naturally because we have more to
Yeah.
talk about. That's cool. That's a good sign for sure. All right, boys, we'll talk soon.
All right,
Yeah. See you
gentlemen.
guys.
All right, later.